Hello and welcome to Contact Payroll online training. I'm Rupert. Today we're going to look at Contact Payroll's organization structures and a setup of a new organization structure. So basically, what is an organization structure? Well, an organization contains all the information for one particular company. So say for instance, I've got a production company. In the production company, I've got several employees, and for each employee, I've got various types of transactions, various types of bank accounts. So that all forms part of one organization. So if I want to run, let's say for instance, 3 different organizations, a production company, a clothing store, or a service center, I will open up 3 different organizations in Contact Payroll, and each of those organizations will then contain the particular information linked to those particular set of employees. So I'm going to open up my default organization just to give you a quick glance of how a default organization will be set up. For example, in my default organization, I've got Van Zyl Rupert, which is 1 employee record, and then if I would look at my master files, I've got the transactions, I've got departments, I've got branches, I've got overtime rates, I've got financial institutions, leave types, month and periods, and then of course the additional information, which is pay points, gradings, tax classifications, and so forth. So for each organization, you will have to set this up for that particular organization, for that particular company. So to open up a new organization, we're just going to click on File, New, and then it asks us for a description for this organization. Now, this will be a folder that will be created by the payroll on your hard drive, your computer's hard drive. So I'm going to open up my production company, and you are allowed to use spaces in the name. And then it tells you it's going to be created in C program files, Contact Payroll. You can select a different folder where the company folder will be created, although we always advise to use the default folder for all your companies. Then it asks you, do you wish to create this organization with startup defaults, with no data, empty, in other words, you will set up everything, or set up from another organization. Now, when you set up from another organization, the structure will be copied across, but not the employee records. So the branches, departments, the master file for the banks, your month periods, all of those will be copied over to the new organization except the employee records. So if you've got 2 companies which is more or less the same in structure, but they've got different employee records, you can use that option. Then you've got your organization environment. What that means is for each of those environments, there's a specific setup and a specific set of transactions. So when we select the particular industry, the payroll will use those transactions which has been pre-set up for this organization. In this case, we're just going to use original general setup, and then we're going to go next. It says use wizard pages to complete the setup. What that means is the payroll will automatically prompt you for the basic information for this organization. For example, the company's full name, registration number, the postal address, the physical address, and the contact persons, including tax numbers, UIF numbers, etc. So you can, for all practical purposes, we will leave that on, and then you will go create, and it says, do you wish to create a new organization folder in C program files, Contact Payroll, my production company? And you can just say yes, and then the payroll will come back and say the folder organization created successfully, the username is user, and the default password is 123. Of course, you can always go back afterwards and go change that, but that's the default for the new organization. Then you click OK, and the payroll will come back and it will tell you to log into this new organization. So we're going to put in user 123. Once you've logged into the organization, the first screen that comes up is asking you for initial processing date. So what does that mean? The payroll would like to know which is the first month that you're going to process employees for payment for this particular organization, so that the payroll can set up the months for you and the periods. Remember that for processing in a specific month, let's say for instance May or June, you need specific periods set up in the payroll to process those months, so that the payroll know which is my start date, my end date, and of course which is the next period. So in this case, because we would like to start processing and paying in March, that'll be the 1st of March 2013. So that is my initial processing date. You can of course click on this button to learn more of what I've just told you, and then you click on next. Now it tells you that according to the first processing date we've just given, this is our tax year, the 1st of March 2013 until the 28th of February 2014. And you would just click on next. And now it's asking you which cycles you would like to use. Remember, you can pay employees either weekly or fortnightly or monthly. Unfortunately, you cannot mix the cycles for one employee. So you got to decide, I want to pay this employee fortnightly or monthly or weekly. In our case, we're not going to pay them weekly or fortnightly. We're only going to do monthly period payments. And then if you look here below, it actually gives you the option to specify, say you've enabled weekly, it gives you the option here to give the weekly start and the weekly end date for the year, so that the payroll can automatically set up those weeks for you. So the payroll will set up 1 week with the next week following and so forth for the whole year. And then you would just go create, and now it tells you that the periods has been set up successfully. Now I can start setting up my organization details. So what you would basically do is you will fill in all the organization details here, click next, next screen, click next, 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 and so forth. Once you've completed the setup wizard, you click on finish and your company is ready to be used.